going to share my screen.
All right, so howdy toddy friends, we are joined by the incomparable Megan Thomas from the University of Mississippi admissions counselor for Madison County Schools. And we're recording this for all of our friends at Madison Central, Ridgeland, Germantown, and I've got a room full here with me of Velma Jackson and for our junior and senior class at Velma Jackson High School as well. And she's already got this slideshow up, so I'll let her take it away about how you can build your legacy as an Ole Miss Rebel.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to get to visit with y'all today and share a little bit about the University of Mississippi, more affectionately known as Ole Miss, a place that is truly near and dear to my heart. As you said, my name is Megan Thomas. I serve as the Assistant Director of Admissions, but more importantly, I am the admissions counselor for Madison County. And I am so excited to help each and every one of you learn about Ole Miss in hopes that it is a place where you can grow and become the professional that you want, and while you are building your legacy at Ole Miss and beyond. For those of you who may not be quite as familiar with all the specific statistics and information about Ole Miss, I do like to share those with y'all. We are located in Oxford, Mississippi, which is about 2 hours and 15 minutes north of Madison County. It's a really easy drive up I-55. Take that Batesville exit and you will be in God's country in a matter of about 20 minutes. ESPN and Southern Living named Oxford America's best college town, both in the past year. So we are thrilled to have that recognition to Oxford. We truly believe that we have a special city, but also a special university to offer y'all. We have been named to the most beautiful college campus in America for the past 10 years. So again, we may not be winning many athletic national championships with the exception of women's golf and baseball, but we definitely have that mastered in campus beauty and college towns. We just welcomed the largest freshman class in the history of the university, but also the state of Mississippi. I cannot wait for those numbers to be out in a few weeks, so you're able to see just how many excited freshmen we have on our campus. We have about 18,000 undergraduates on our campus as well. So it is considered a medium-sized university, but with that, you're really able to get the best of both worlds. We're the second smallest SEC school, but with 18,000 students, that's still a lot of people that you're never going to know. But honestly, it's the perfect size where you can walk across campus to class, go to the Union to grab Chick-fil-A, and you are always going to see a familiar face, whether that's someone you knew from your hometown or whether it's a new friend you've made while you've been at Ole Miss. And it really makes the university feel more like home when you have that easy environment to really get to know your professors and get to know your classmates and make friends really easily. I also like to mention that we have tons of non-resident students on our campus. So this freshman class we just welcomed was 60% non-resident. And overall, our campus body is about 45% non-resident, 55% Mississippi residents. So you're not only going to be meeting Mississippians when you get to Ole Miss, you're going to be meeting so many people from Texas, California, New York, Colorado, all of the southern states. I believe at last count, we have 47 states represented on our campus and about 96 countries.
That's incredible.
So incredible diversity on our campus, and you will be meeting people from everywhere. Switching gears a little bit, I want to highlight a few of our academic programs, but before I dive into each of these, I always like to share about our class sizes. I know coming to a four-year university, particularly an SEC institution, we see college classes on TV and in the movies, and they're in huge auditoriums with 100 or 200 or more students in those. And while we do have a few of those classrooms at Ole Miss, I do always like to make sure that y'all know that it's not the majority of your classes. About 90% of our classes on campus have 50 students or less in them. Only 2% of our classes, 2% have 100 or more students in them. So you are really going to be in classes that are almost the same size that you're in now in high school, but that just really goes to show, we are dedicated to student success. We're dedicated to y'all getting to know your professors and making those friends easily, like I mentioned previously.
Yeah, and I see the thing on here about the pharmacy school. We have a Velma Jackson alumni, Olivia Kiner, that just is finishing up the pharmacy program here in Jackson, because I know it starts in Oxford and finishes in Jackson.
That's exactly right. It is considered a 3+3+2 program. And so students spend the first 3 years in undergrad and then a couple years in Oxford in the professional program, and then the last 2 years in Jackson at the University of Mississippi Medical Center. So that's awesome. But going through some of these academic programs, like I mentioned, we'll just start at the top of the list and we'll work our way down. The Patterson School of Accountancy is ranked #1 in Mississippi, #1 in the SEC, and we are a top 10 accounting program in the nation. We are actually ranked 8th in the nation this year. So we've been in the top 10 nationally ranked accounting schools for the past 10 years. So we're really excited about that. We have virtually a 100% job placement rate. They won't let us say a full 100%. So 99.9% job placement rate for our accounting graduates, but they're doing incredible things with wonderful accounting internships their senior year. There's tons of opportunities there. Our School of Applied Sciences really focuses on the majors that allow our students to be change makers in today's society. So these are majors like exercise science, which is an amazing foundation for physical therapy or even occupational therapy school, criminal justice, speech pathology, that was my major, law studies, which is a great segue into law school. That's where you'll find all of those majors. Our School of Business Administration is ranked in the top 60 public business schools in the country. And we have an accreditation that puts us in the top 5% of business schools in the entire world. Our School of Business really focuses on providing you a solid foundation in general business your freshman year with us at Ole Miss. And then after completion of your freshman year, you're able to declare a specific business major, such as real estate, marketing, finance, entrepreneurship, or if you choose to, you can stay general business and pursue your bachelor's degree in that area. Our School of Education is the leading producer of teachers and educators in Mississippi. One really cool thing about our School of Education that I always love to mention, we have a program that's called the Teach Live Avatar Program. Not many universities in the country have this. I think it's less than 20. But what it does is it allows you as an education major to learn classroom management before you ever step foot in an actual classroom. Wow. So it's a simulation. It's kind of like a game of sorts. You're standing in front of a large projector, and on the screen, you see a classroom with students. And we actually allow our theater students to come in and they pretend to be your students in the classroom. So they are simulating the avatars that you see on the screen. So they could be passing notes, shooting spitballs at you, just completely wreaking havoc on your classroom, but you get to interact with them and learn, again, classroom management. So you're able to have those skills before you ever even step foot in the classroom when you start your student teaching later in your education. But next up on the list is our School of Engineering. We're actually the oldest engineering school in the state of Mississippi, and we're home to Mississippi's #1 ranked electrical engineering program. We have tons of options in engineering, including biomedical, chemical, civil, general, geological. And the really great thing about our School of Engineering is they have their own career center. So starting freshman year, we allow our engineering students to get to know different engineering firms across the country, start networking and making those connections. So when it comes time for you to start applying for internships and co-ops and all of those cool experiences, you've actually been talking with these engineering firms for a year or more since you got to campus. We also offer even smaller class sizes in our School of Engineering, and that's purposeful as well. Your classes in engineering will range from maybe 15, 20, 25 students because we understand the course load is a little bit rigorous. And so we really want you to be in those smaller, more hands-on classes in that area. Our Office of General Studies houses our freshman studies major and also multidisciplinary studies. So freshman studies is just a really fancy way of saying that you're undecided or undeclared. You have no idea what you want to major in, and that is totally fine. That was me until the end of my sophomore year of college when it was crunch time and I had to declare a major. But they're a wonderful office and they will guide and mentor you to help you find a major that's perfect for you. And then I also mentioned multidisciplinary studies. That's how you can create your own bachelor's degree. So you can actually take 3 minors from any of these areas on your screen, pull them together, and again, create your own degree. So if you have a very specific game plan in mind and we don't have a specific major for that, again, you can pull in your 3 areas and provide a justification or rationale as to why you want to pursue those, and they will help you achieve that. The next, our College of Liberal Arts is definitely our largest academic division on campus. That's where you'll find a lot of the majors that correspond with the classes y'all are taking now in high school. So this is arts, music, theater, science, all of the ologies, psychology, sociology, anthropology, all the things. There's around 40 different majors in liberal arts, and that's everything from African American studies all the way to theater arts, because we do not have zoology, unfortunately. So I cannot say from A to Z. But next, our School of Journalism and New Media is home to our broadcast journalism major, print journalism, and then integrated marketing communications. IMC is what we call it because it's a whole mouthful, is actually the largest IMC program in the country. And we are so proud of what we're doing on campus through IMC. If you are interested in a career in social media or marketing, branding, anything creative that involves those 3, IMC is the perfect major for you. We have Ole Miss alums who are now employed with TikTok, Facebook, running social media for the Green Bay Packers and other professional sports teams, working at the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Lots of really, really cool things are coming out of our School of Journalism. So that's definitely something
on TV on the news also came out of that school as well.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And then lastly, our School of Pharmacy, which we were mentioning earlier, we're a top 25 pharmacy school in the country, but we're actually the only public pharmacy school here in the state of Mississippi. So we do have an early entry pharmacy program. If any of you are 100% certain that you want to pursue pharmacy as a career, you can actually apply to pharmacy school with us your senior year of high school. And if you're accepted, we will save you a seat in the professional program for your first 3 years that you're at Ole Miss, completing all of your classes needed for your bachelor's degree.
That's awesome.
This is not listed on the screen, but I would be remiss if I did not mention the University of Mississippi Medical Center that we were also talking about earlier. Y'all are familiar with UMMC. I'm certain you are, because that's located right down the road in Jackson, but that's considered one of our regional campuses. So at UMMC, that's where we house our School of Medicine, School of Dentistry, School of Nursing, School of Pharmacy, School of Health-related professions, and then a few other programs. But we are Mississippi's only academic medical center. We have Mississippi's only public medical school, the only dental school, the only physical therapy program, and the only public occupational therapy program. And we are proud to say we put the most students into those programs at UMMC every year. Ole Miss graduates dominate those programs, and that's largely in part thanks to our Health Professions Advising Office. We have Mississippi's only full-service Health Professions Advising Office, meaning that they will mentor you through the process. If med school is your goal, they're going to help you get there. Whether you're attending UMMC at the end of that application process, or whether you're wanting to go somewhere outside of the state of Mississippi, they've got you covered. Our acceptance rate for medical school is about 55%, which is 11% higher than the national average.
That's quite high.
It is. That national average typically hovers in the mid 40s. I think it's 44% this year. So we're confident we can get you where you want to go. So I know that was a lot of information, but I do want to highlight a few of our special programs really quickly. Simply put, special programs at Ole Miss are highly specialized programs for students with specific interests. So this would be like our Arabic language flagship and our Chinese language flagship programs. We are one of few schools in the nation to have 2 flagship programs. Those are completely funded by the federal government for students to be proficient in that language at the time of your graduation in 4 years. So if you have interest in learning Arabic or Mandarin Chinese, let us know. Neither of those programs require any language experience. They will teach you from the ground up. So don't let that, it's incredible. Don't let that stop you at all. But piggybacking on Arabic and Chinese, we offer the Croft Institute for International Studies, which is a tremendous opportunity for students interested in international affairs. You can essentially create your own international studies degree through the Croft Institute. When you apply and you get accepted, you choose your region of the world that you want to focus in, and then you choose a language associated with that region. Then your third decision is an academic area of concentration. So if you know you're interested in medical school, just as an example, you could choose the global health emphasis and say you choose Latin America and you're pursuing a language of Spanish. You would learn about global health specifically in Latin America while you're becoming proficient in your language of choice. So again, it just goes to broaden your horizons and really create you as a global scholar. Our Sally McDonald Barksdale Honors College is a tremendous opportunity. Those class sizes are even smaller than campus-wide class sizes. They actually cap your honors classes at around 12 to 15 each. But the Honors College is really like attending a private liberal arts college within Ole Miss, the SEC institution. And so with the Honors College, we're really able to offer you the best of both worlds because you're getting 2 different experiences there almost. The Trent Lott Leadership Institute houses our public policy leadership major, which is a great foundation for careers in policy, service, law school, politics. And then our Mississippi Excellence in Teaching program is a great pathway for students who are certain they want to be educators. If you are selected for one of our METP scholarships, we give away 30 of those per year. We will actually fully fund your education. You just have to promise that you will teach at a Mississippi public school for 5 years after you graduate. So that's our way of giving back to the state of Mississippi and helping just promote the future of education in our state. So switching gears a little bit, I don't want to completely bog you down with academics because we could be here for quite a while, but I always like to highlight student life because Ole Miss is definitely a social campus. Our students are extremely active and involved, and there's so many things both on and off campus that you can get involved with, which really just deepens your college experience, because that's where you're going to find your best friends. That's where you're going to make some of the best life lessons, where you're learning how to balance and how to prioritize. And so I absolutely would not trade all of the student organizations that I was involved with in college, because they really, again, just made it come full circle for me. But our student organizations on campus, we have tons. I think the last count, we're over 400 and constantly growing. One thing about student life at Ole Miss is we actually allow our students to create your own organization. So if you have an idea for something that doesn't currently exist on our campus, you, 4 friends, and a faculty or staff sponsor can create your own student organization. So if you are really interested in the pancake club, or you are a chicken tender connoisseur and you want to go around Oxford and find the best chicken tenders, you can definitely do that. That's how some of our organizations, such as the bird watching club, the gardening club, the sneaker club, a group of students who really love shoes, created that. So that's how you'll find some of those more eclectic interest groups. But some of our main ones are going to be ASB, which is our associated student body. It's what we call student government at Ole Miss. We also have Student Activities Association. They are divided into different committees, and they are responsible for planning all of the fun events that happen on campus. So this week is actually homecoming week for us. We are so excited for the homecoming game on Saturday against Kentucky. But this week leading up to homecoming, it is jam-packed with fun stuff for you to do. So on Monday, they had like a bungee simulation on in the Grove right out in front of the student union. So you could put the bungee cords and the harness on. There was a huge like bean bag at the bottom, and so you could just jump and flip and have the time of your life. And then today, the mechanical shark is out in front of the union. So we don't have a mechanical bull, we have a mechanical land shark. And so our students are trying their luck at riding the shark today. But again, every day this week, there will be some fun activity for students to do out in the Grove in
that's
front
the
of
thing,
the
because everybody's not a sports fan, and you don't have to be
exactly.
a sports fan to really enjoy the student life experience.
Yes, that's exactly right. There's so much outside of athletics at the university. And I always like to remind students, football is only 7 Saturdays in the fall. We only have 7 home games. And so it's definitely important for you to find things that you can do on those traditional, just the regular Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, because honestly, to me, those are the most special days at Ole Miss. Just when you're in your groove, you're going to class, you're hanging out with your friends. Those are the memories that you will remember.
Absolutely.
Yes. But with that being said, game days are an incredible experience. The Grove is unlike any other. If you've never experienced the Grove, I definitely encourage you to do that at some point soon. It has been called the Holy Grail of tailgating. It is a 10-acre park in the middle of our campus. It was actually designed by the same designers who designed Central Park in New York City. But on those 7 football Saturdays, it will easily be 60,000 people crammed into those 10 acres with some amazing food and entertainment in preparation to watch the Rebels play football a few hours later. And then the pictures on your screen for the first home game every year, we do something called the Rebel Run. We let the freshman class run across the football field. Just kind of make your grand entrance to let everybody know that you're here and you're a Rebel. So that's always something fun we really look forward to.
That's awesome.
And then we cannot forget the Hotty Toddy cheer. I'll let y'all read the words. They're in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. But Hotty Toddy truly is a way of life at Ole Miss. Really don't often say hi or hello. If you see somebody with an Ole Miss shirt on, you give them a hottie toddy, and that's exactly all you have to do. So again, switching gears just a little bit, I want to talk with y'all about financial aid and scholarship opportunities. 80% of our freshmen receive some type of financial aid, which is astounding. So whether that's scholarships, grants, or loans, the vast majority of our students come in with some type of aid. And we've actually been voted as the best value institution in the state of Mississippi. We are a top 40 best value school in the entire country, per US News and World Report. So like I mentioned, there's several different types of aid, so scholarships, grants, loans, and work study. If you haven't already, I would definitely encourage y'all to reach out to Get to College, so they can assist you with your FAFSA and Mississippi financial aid applications. That FAFSA is opening on October the 1st, so
Yep.
just a few days away.
We actually had Get to College on campus a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, perfect. That's amazing. They are a tremendous resource for y'all, and they will help you do your FAFSA and your Mississippi aid applications for free, which I'm sure they already mentioned to y'all. We do not require the FAFSA, but we do highly encourage it just so we're able to offer you the most robust scholarship package that we can.
Yeah, and you don't know what you qualify for until you.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You
This is what I wanted to see, right? Because we're taking, they're all the juniors taking the ACT October 18th. So this is what I really wanted to see right here.
Yes. Well, these are our merit-based scholarships for our Mississippi students. And you'll see two different columns on the screen. So you'll see our academic merit scholarship and our 1848 scholarship. So these start with a 23 on the ACT and a 3.0 GPA. But if you have a 3.5 GPA, you're going to qualify for the 1848 award in addition to the academic merit. So that's just a little bit of an incentive to get that GPA higher, so you can achieve both and receive both of our scholarships. A couple of things that I like to note about these scholarships: we do accept ACT super scores. So we're always going to use your super score for scholarships. And the second thing I like to remind y'all is we are one of the only Mississippi institutions who will accept new ACT scores through the summer after you graduate high school. So if you're graduating in May of 2023, that July ACT is the last one that we accept for scholarship consideration. So if you finally increase to where you're eligible for scholarships, or maybe you just increase your score to where you're eligible for a little bit of a higher award amount, either way, we're going to honor it and give you more money. So I always like to remind y'all of that, because that is definitely a little bit of an incentive. I do like to point out that a 29 on the ACT and a 3.5 GPA is really the sweet spot. So with a 29 and a 3.5, your academic merit in your 1848 would total $7,500 per year. But a 29 and a 3.5 is also where you become eligible for the Mississippi Eminent Scholars Grant, which is MESG through the state of Mississippi. So when you add the MESG on top of this academic merit in 1848, that's going to give you an automatic $10,000 per year, which is half of your freshman year paid for, without a competitive scholarship application. So definitely keep that in mind, because that's only going to help you out in the long run. And again, as your score goes up, your money's going to increase. But on the right side of the screen, these are a few of our automatic scholarships that I always like to mention. We honor you for being named star student of your senior class, valedictorian, salutatorian, Boy State, Girl State, student body president, Eagle Scout, or Girl Scout Gold. If you meet the requirements for any of these scholarships, you can let me know and I'll help you get these scholarships automatically applied to your financial aid package. And then lastly, I want to highlight a few of our competitive scholarships. A moment ago, I mentioned our competitive scholarship application. So all of these on the screen, with the exception of Ole Miss Opportunity, are all housed within that special programs and scholarships application. It's one application and it houses applications for, again, all competitive scholarships, but also all of those special programs that I mentioned a few minutes ago. So if you're interested in the Croft Institute or the Sally McDonald Barksdale Honors College, you'll find those applications in this same portal. So just doing this one application is going to have you make sure that you're considered for every competitive scholarship that we offer. Again, with the exception of Ole Miss Opportunity that you see on the screen. Ole Miss Opportunity is not a competitive scholarship. It's based on financial need, and it's considered a fill the gap scholarship. But I always like to highlight this scholarship because there is nothing else like it in the state of Mississippi. If your family income for the year is at or below $40,000, and you've got a 3.0 GPA, we're going to help you fund your tuition, your housing, and your meal plan for all 4 years that you're at the university. It's amazing. So the only thing that students typically would be responsible for are those extra fees, like books and course fees, or if you want to upgrade your housing to a contemporary residence hall, you would be responsible for paying that. But again, that is going to provide you over $19,000 to help you fund your tuition, your housing, and your meal plan. In addition,
that's not even including the things you could stack with that. Because if you got the MTAG, the help grant, and then on top of the academic excellence scholarships, all that could stack, correct?
Yes, with academic merit and everything else, it absolutely can. So this is considered a fill the gap scholarship. So we're going to look at everything else that the student's getting. So a Pell Grant, if they have the 20 on their ACT and they get the help grant. And then they may get academic merit or something like that. Then Ole Miss Opportunity comes in and it pays what's remaining for those students.
Incredible. What a great program.
Yes, it's amazing. And we have unlimited of those. So for every student who applies, they meet the criteria for it. We're going to promise you that you'll get Ole Miss Opportunity as long as you qualify.
Yeah, that's great because, anybody watching now or later, if you really busted it in high school and your family is saying, I don't know if we can afford it, that is a great program for anybody that wants to look into that. So I would encourage you, if you're interested in Ole Miss and looking, and cost is a major issue, to really look into that Ole Miss Opportunities program.
Absolutely. And again, if y'all have questions, please reach out. My contact information will be at the end of this presentation, so that way y'all can get in touch with me.
There's something else really important for these seniors.
Yes, housing, where you're going to live for the next year of your life. We offer 3 different kinds of buildings on our campus. So traditional, contemporary, and the residential colleges. The traditional halls are exactly what you see in the movies and on TV. They are classic residential halls. They have the they have the community style bathrooms and showers located on each floor that you're sharing with all of your hallmates. But then our contemporary halls have the in-room bathrooms and showers in each room. So you have that inside your bedroom that's only shared amongst you and your roommate. But then our residential colleges really take it one step further. The RCs are contemporary residence halls, but they have a faculty fellow who actually lives in the building with you and provides programming and special events. And just really takes it one step further to build a lasting sense of community. But also the residential colleges have their own dining hall. You have a small library, a music room. There's lots of really cool extra perks of living in one of the residential colleges. But most importantly, the application process for student housing is already live. That application opened on September the 1st, and it will remain open through next summer. But I will say, the sooner you apply for housing, the better your priority will be for room selection.
So if you're a senior and you've already applied to the university, you need to get this in now.
Absolutely. And if you're still uncertain about which college you'll be attending next year, that is totally okay. I always recommend for you to apply for housing if we are in your top 3 college choices.
Absolutely. I agree.
I think that's the smartest thing for you to do, because that way, if it shakes out and you do decide that you're coming to Ole Miss next year, you've already taken care of your housing application and you have good priority for room selection, which we know is important. The roommate request and confirm deadline is not until April the 12th, and y'all will not start picking your rooms or your buildings until about a week after that. So around the last week of April. So right now, there are no decisions that you need to have made. You do not need to know where you're living or who you're living with. Just go ahead and put that initial application in and pay the $100 deposit so we can essentially hold your space in the virtual waiting line, if you will. So if you have not applied to Ole Miss yet and are not admitted, I do like to highlight our application process and just some of the things for y'all to be working on your senior year. So starting out, for those of you who've not yet applied for admission, please do so. We would absolutely love to have you as a part of our Ole Miss family. Our application is both on our website and on the Common app. The links are both listed on the screen here, olemiss.edu/apply. Our application is so easy. It takes less than 15 minutes to complete. And if you qualify for an ACT fee waiver, we will accept that instead of you paying the application fee. Also, we are test optional for Mississippi students again this year on the heels of COVID. So please don't let an ACT score delay you applying, especially if you're still trying to increase it. Just go ahead and put your application in. For Mississippians, you only have to have a 2.0 core GPA to be admitted to Ole Miss this year as a senior. So again, do not let that ACT delay your process of applying. We will, again, take ACT scores all the way through the end of your senior year. But you will need to reach out to your individual high school and have your transcript sent. I know that process is different among the 4 schools here in Madison County, but make sure we get your transcript. And then once you are admitted, then we can start working with you on all the different applications, housing specifically. And then we'll want to make sure that you're submitting that special programs and scholarships application by the priority deadline of January the 5th. In addition to your FAFSA, Mississippi aid applications, all the good stuff. And then eventually we will want your ACT scores on file just so we can ensure we have those for scholarship consideration. Finally, I would like to talk with y'all about Oxford. I know I talked a little bit about that earlier, but hopefully this will give you a little bit more insight into what Oxford is all about. It is lovingly referred to as the Velvet Ditch. I know that is a really unique nickname, but we call it the Velvet Ditch because you are so comfortable. It is truly a way of life. And it's a place where you can just get comfortable and make the most of your 4 years of college. And it's so comfortable, you don't want to leave when it's time to graduate. You're just stuck in the ditch because you don't want to leave Oxford. But again, named America's best college town, and there's so much culture and so many things for you to do in Oxford. Around the square in the center of town, that's where a lot of our shopping and restaurants are. We have award-winning restaurants, over 300 in Oxford city limits. We have lots of bookstores and comedy shows, and there's live music easily 6 out of 7 nights of the week. So we would love for you to not only come and tour campus, but also come and spend a little time in Oxford, because the college town that your college is located in is equally as important as the college decision where you choose to attend, because you are not going to be strictly living on that college campus for 4 years. You want to also immerse yourself in that college town. And
there's also a Walmart easy to access, everything.
Absolutely.
Not like
absolutely. Walmart, Kroger, lots of resources there. And our out buses, out stands for Oxford University Transit, but they run students to and from Walmart, Kroger, the Square, or even just from your residence hall to class. And those are all free for our students. So if you don't bring a car to campus, I don't want that to be any concern for you, because there's always going to be free transportation anywhere that you want to go in Oxford. So again, I definitely want to encourage y'all to come up for a visit. We host campus visits Monday through Friday at 10:15 in the morning or 1:15 in the afternoon. And we would absolutely love to have you and your family on our campus. Our visits include an admissions information session, a campus tour, and a housing tour. But if there are any specific programs that you're interested in pursuing at Ole Miss, you can absolutely let us know, and we can schedule individualized one-on-one appointments for you just to explore those programs a little bit more, or even sit in on a class if that's something you're interested in. So that QR code or either the link on the screen will get you to our online calendar where you can schedule that. But y'all can also reach out to me directly, and I'll be happy to share any information or help you schedule that visit. I live in Madison, so I am always here, and that's purposeful because I live here to be at your convenience. I'm here as a resource for you. So please call me or text me, email me, send me a message on Instagram, whichever mode of communication is the easiest for you. I always have my phones with me. So again, please just call me, text me, let me know what I can do to help you, because again, I'm here as a resource for you, and would absolutely love to have y'all join the Ole Miss family.
That's awesome. That was a great presentation.
Thank you.
I do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
We have some students that are kind of unsure, and they, family situations, money, whatever. So if they want to go to community college first, how would Ole Miss have a relationship with transferring in as a junior coming from a community college to the university?
Yes, we have great relationships with all of the community colleges here in the state, and we also get lots of transfer students from community colleges outside of Mississippi. But we have community college transfer scholarships that we're able to offer those students, and then we also have separate community college transfer admissions requirements, but extremely simplified. Our community college scholarships require 48 transferable hours and at least a 3.0 GPA. So that's just a couple of things to really be mindful of. But we do have a transfer admissions counseling team on our campus. So you will see them frequently. If community college is your pathway, they will be there often. So it's really important to get to know your admissions counselor. I can even help you with transfer information, but we can help you make sure that the classes you're taking at community college will put you on the best pathway for your major. So that way, you're taking intentional classes that will benefit you in the end.
Absolutely. And I just think it's important for everybody to understand, even if you are going to community college first, Ole Miss could still be a place for you transferring as a
Absolutely.
Now, the other thing real quick, and you talked about this, and it's great that you mentioned this, because you talked about the ability to get involved on campus. And it is a large campus, but the need and almost a necessity to be involved in something on campus due to the networking and the internship experience, no matter where you go to college. But, if you go to Ole Miss, it's not a place you just go to class or go back to the room and go to sleep.
Right.
They really give students the resources to be involved in this. I had a good friend that went to that accounting school you talked about. Because he was involved in a student organization at Ole Miss, he got a job with Deloitte in Memphis, which is one of the largest accounting firms in the world.
Right.
But that was because of the networking and ability to mesh with the campus community. So how important is that when you're, obviously the academics are important, the athletics are a lot of fun, but that networking aspect for students to be successful?
It is extremely important. And again, that's where you're going to learn a lot of the soft skills that's so vital to being a professional in today's society. In my student organizations, again, that's where I learned a lot of time management and just social skills. And I was able to meet and talk with anyone, by the time I graduated from college, because those joining all those organizations kind of brought me out of my comfort zone. I really did not have a lot of friends on campus when I went to college. I graduated from a really small high school with about 50 seniors in my class. And so we were small, and not everyone was going to a four-year institution. And so just learning the importance of having the skills to build those relationships that carries on into your professional career, because that's also how you're going to get a job one day. And having an awesome resume looks extremely impressive to graduate schools, medical schools, or even if you go straight to work after you finish your bachelor's degree. You want to show them that you've done more than just study for 4 years. You want to show them that you've held leadership positions and you have all of those different skills that they're looking for.
Absolutely. Now, and we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much for joining us. But before we go, we did have a question about the nursing. We didn't really hit on that. Now, nursing obviously does start in Oxford. So is that something that finishes at UMC, or how does that work?
So we have two different options for nursing. I'm glad you mentioned that. We do have the traditional 2+2 option for nursing. So that would be your first 2 years in Oxford, and then your last 2 years in our School of Nursing at the University of Mississippi Medical Center, or any nursing school you choose to attend, though we hope it will be ours. Our nursing school is a bachelor's in nursing, so you would not just be an RN, you would be an RN BSN, which is automatically going to qualify those graduates for more money and more jobs, which we all like to hear. But if students want to stay in Oxford for the full 4 years, which is becoming increasingly popular because, again, it's the velvet ditch. You do not want to leave after 2 years. We actually created an accelerated nursing program, which is housed in both Oxford and Jackson. And so your first 4 years would be a bachelor's degree in any area of your choosing. We created allied health studies with this program in mind. So you can major in that, psychology, biology, business, again, anything that you want. So that's your first 4 years. Then immediately after you graduate, you'd start nursing school. That program, again, is accelerated. So you would finish your bachelor's in nursing in 1 calendar year from August to August. Oh, man. Yes. So I know that sounds a bit intensive, but we have so many students who love it because, again, that offers you the chance to stay in Oxford for 5 years, which is amazing.
Yeah, but the one thing that everybody can agree on, there's plenty of options on how you want to do this.
Absolutely.
Because obviously there's a need for nurses, and Ole Miss's nursing is top notch. So you can get Oxford or in Jackson. So if you don't, so however you want to do it, that's great. There's so many options. And again, thank you so much for joining us, Megan Thomas, Madison County Schools. If you're interested in going to Ole Miss, this is your girl right here. She's the girl with the plan. But I don't say it often, but before we go, I will give you one. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing everybody really soon.
All right. Thanks, my friend.
Thank you.
At the college fair here next week.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. See you.
Bye.